hello. I'm gonna give it a couple minutes. But we have breaking news. The Minnesota, you have Mary Mortery, the Hennepin County attorney, having a press conference right now uh, on charges of the officer who shot and killed Ricky Cobb II. So again, this is a big news, breaking news. So please pay attention, people. Please pay attention.
And second-degree manslaughter. The Minnesota State Patrol is responsible for ensuring safety on Minnesota's roads and highways during motor vehicle stops. This is something that state troopers do every day. And as a result, they receive extensive training on how to do so safely and effectively. As with all Minnesota law enforcement officers, state troopers may only use deadly force when it is necessary to protect a person from a specific identified threat of great bodily harm or death that was reasonably likely to occur. That did not exist in this case. Ricky Cobb II should be alive today. The BCA conducted their initial investigation in this case and turned the file over to our office in September of 2023. Since that time, our office has continued to investigate and review this matter. This thorough investigation and review is what led to our decision to file these charges. The only other specific topic specific to the charges that I will address at this time is the question of conditions of release. We are not requesting bail in this case because it is not consistent with Minnesota's law on bail and the risk assessment used by Hennepin County. When Trooper Londrigan makes his first appearance, which I think will be later this week or early next week, we will ask the court to require that he surrender his passport and firearms and to follow all conditions set by the court. I want to acknowledge that this is a difficult day for many. My heart is with Mr. Cobb's family. They are devastated and will continue to grieve Mr. Cobb's loss the rest of their lives. This is also a difficult time for Trooper Londrigan and his loved ones. Our community continues to navigate the compounding trauma and grief that results from the tragic loss of our community members at the hands of police. This matter is now an active criminal investigation, or prosecution, I should say. Because we take the right to trial, fair trial, seriously, we will not be commenting public after today, absent some kind of compelling circumstances. With that understanding, I will take a few questions and answer as best I'm able. Luke.
In September, in the statement, you wrote quite a bit about a use of force expert being retained by the office, but in the criminal complaint, I don't see that use of force expert mentioned at all. Did that person say that this was a murder?
So we were able to determine that charges were appropriate in this charge without the use of an expert.
So no expert use.
We are not, as I said, we determined through investigation that came after that statement that charges were appropriate without the use of an expert.
You had spoken in that statement about context of cooperation with state patrol.
Yes.
Employees. So it was unclear if that meant maybe other troopers on the scene, maybe folks who trained the trooper, specifically Londrigan, and then at traffic stop. Can you speak more? Did that slow down your charging decision? Did you eventually hear from these employees of the state patrol?
So I want to say right now that any difficulties that we had obtaining information from State Patrol should not be a reflection on Trooper Londrigan. We want him to have a fair trial. As I said at the time, we did have difficulty, the BCA did have difficulty talking or getting some of staff, training staff to talk to them. but we were able to get that information through our investigation.
Directly from the criminal complaint, it sounds like a trooper did provide information. It sounds like it was a trooper who was dragged and determined that the shooting Cobb did not prevent that officer from being dragged, which seems to be a reason that you felt a charge.
Right. What we looked at is, we have to look at it from an objectively reasonable officer's viewpoint. And what we have to look at and rely upon is their training. Our understanding of their training is that they were trained how to extract or remove somebody from a vehicle with one trooper or two troopers. They did not follow that training. Our understanding is also that they were trained that shooting someone is unlikely to stop them from driving the car away. In fact, most often people do drive the car away. So our determination was it was not a necessary use of force to prevent great bodily harm or death by that officer, Londrigan, or his partner. I would call our investigation complementary to the BCA's. There wasn't anything different, that we obtained additional information. We wanted to be thoughtful about the decision in this case, understanding how important it is to, as I said, the Ricky Cobb's family, to Trooper Londrigan, and to our community. We wanted to be thoughtful. We were careful, thoughtful. We obtained all of the information that we knew we needed to make that decision. And so that's why it took that much time.
Just see a lawful traffic stop, given commands to, protect order out for at least hold in custody commands, and then what would amount to an attempt to drive away. I mean, what happens in between, obviously, up to the big. What do you tell the community who's going to say, what is Mary doing? That is a lawful traffic stop. If Ricky Cobb stops and obeys, he's alive today. What do you tell the community?
So what we focused on is the training that the state troopers received. The training that the state troopers received was about making decisions when there's a traffic stop. They are not allowed to shoot at a car which is driving away. They're not allowed to shoot someone to prevent the car from driving away. They are only allowed to use deadly force if it will prevent great bodily harm or death to their partner or somebody else. So we focused on the training that they received. And they also, as I said, received training that shooting someone, in fact, my understanding is they have a video that they show that someone who was shot in the head continued to drive away. So the training that they received, very extensive training by the State Patrol, was that shooting someone was not likely to cause the person to stop driving. So shooting someone was not an appropriate or necessary use of deadly force in this situation. Thank you.
So that's pretty big news coming out of Hennepin County, Minnesota, that they are charging Minnesota State Trooper Ryan Landegren is being charged with second-degree unintentional murder, first-degree assault, second-degree manslaughter, and the traffic stop shooting death of Ricky Cobb II. If people don't remember the Ricky Cobb situation, that was a traffic stop by the state troopers. And state troopers are trained differently than Minneapolis police officers, than county sheriffs, and they go through more extensive training. And I'm glad that Mary Mortery explained why she charged the way that she did, so that people understand that they're going against their training. And that is something that needs to be talked about, because that qualified immunity was something that could potentially had came up and protected Mr. Landegren. So I'm glad that she pinpointed his training, because that needs to be pinpointed. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of statements made today from the union. There's going to be statements made from activists around, Minnesota. There's going to be news around it. But I want people to look at the facts. I want people to look at the situation that happened with Ricky, and to listen to how Mary explained why she charged the way that she did. I don't agree with Mary. I'm going to be 100% honest. Mary is a part of the problem. Yeah, she did charge State Trooper Ryan Landegren today, but is she going to do the right thing tomorrow? And she hasn't done the right thing since she's been elected. So her doing one thing does not oversee her still being a bad. So I want people to remember that. And we still have a long, long, long fight ahead of us. And I don't always agree with this person, but I need to give him a shout out because he's kept Ricky's name alive. He's kept the movement going, and that's Jonathan Mason. I don't always agree with the things that he does, but you have to give credit when credit is due. So I really need to give it up for Jonathan Mason, somebody that was arrested protesting for Ricky Cobb, that did things people might have seen that were for fame or for clout or whatever, but he did it, and he was arrested for that on I-94. So, and we covered that when that happened this past summer. So I do want to give thanks to Mr. Jonathan Mason for the steps that he took, the actions that he took to get justice for Ricky Cobb. So with that being said, man, the breaking news out of Hennepin County, Minnesota: State Trooper Ryan Landegren charged with second-degree unintentional murder, first-degree assault, second-degree manslaughter in the traffic stop shooting death of Ricky Cobb II. So again, justice. We'll see what it looks like. But until then, the fight continues. Win or fail, freedom or jail, heaven or hell, wish us well. And you have tuned in to Breaking News on the Leon Block Network.